Hi there everyone, this is Les from Rigbeesoffgrid. We're going to shortly start travelling a little bit, and we've decided that we might put a composting toilet into the caravan. So we chose this one called an OGO origin. It's a compost toilet. It's better than the old cassette toilets in the way that we don't get the spillage as much out of this. You haven't got this flange here that connects up with the other toilet that seems to be a problem. Most of the time you haven't got chemicals that's to use in the toilet itself, and to clean it, it's so easy to clean, which I'll show you in a later episode. But for now, we've got to get the old toilet out and fit the new toilet. So we'll get started on that first up. Yeah, so you've got to use one of those starry looking screwdriver heads, and the right size, of course. That's not the right size for that one, but it's the right size for these other fellas. And we'll remove these ones. Around the side here. Right, well, we've removed everything. We've removed the water hose, all these things here that electrical fittings, and I'll go inside the van now and pull the toilet out. Okay, one more grey cord to get rid of. This one here seems to be connected to something. I don't know what yet. Yeah, well, I finally found it. It's these two here. This those two connections there. Right. Now that should all come through, and that should come out. And that's the cavity for the whole thing. That's the shroud. It's off. And that's the cavity in there, which we'll clean up and get ready to fit the new OGO toilet. So now I've unloaded the box. There's the toilet, and what have you there? That's the inside of the toilet. I've got all the stuff out. There's the vent hose, the cables, the cap for the pee bottle, sanitizer, and some Koya peat brick from Bunnings. And I'll also show the instruction manual. This little thing is the vent to go on the end of this hose. That's bought separately. I think it's $46 for the little vent. Now we've got to get that all inside. I've cleaned it out in there and ready to go. So I'll get that inside and set about setting it all up. Right, well, the next job was to connect this air pipe up. So I made up a little 40mm, that's a 40mm pipe. I made up a fitting there that goes through the door. Also, while I'm here, we just have to connect that to the toilet. That's the power, a simple connection. And I've coiled that back in there so it sits back in behind there. Now that little filter, I've just sickle flexed that onto the outside. I didn't bother about screwing a hole through it and all that. And what happens then is this piece here, it just simply fits over that, whoops, over that. And there's a couple of screws there that go up and screw into there to hold it in. So it'll just sort of sit in like, basically like that. Right, now we're inside the van and this is the unit sitting on the floor there. That's the inside of the unit. The little trapdoor which is there slides out, and that you do your number 2s down in there. You do your number 1s in here, and it runs into a bin, which is, oh hang on, I've got to lift that up a bit. Got to clear that thing there. It runs into this bin here, and there's your other bin that's in there. Now what you do then is you mix up a mixture of coir from Bunnings and or Brunnings, but you mix this coir up and you put it in there, and that little, every now and again, that paddle, well, when you press the button on the side here, which is down somewhere there, here, that paddle then turns around. This paddle turns around and stirs it up, and it's as simple as that. The air vents over there, of course, the little fan, and it's running it out through the, that's the door and what's down behind there. A much simpler idea and a better idea, I think, than the normal chemical toilets. This toilet weighs about 3 kilos more than the chemical one. So it's a little bit extra weight, but oh well, don't have to worry about that. And also you have this stuff, there's a this is the only chemical you use, just a deodorant sort of stuff to spray around the inside of the toilet to keep it clean and hygienic. Now don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hi everybody, this is Les again. Well, we've been on the road for about 4 weeks, and we've been using the OGO composting toilet which I set up. Now we're about to change the contents of the toilet and see how we went on. Start. Usually I can get a 9 litre block or brick of peat, which is that one, but at present I can only get the 15 litre bricks. So what I'm doing is cutting them in half. That gives me 7. So it gives me 7.5 litres of compost. That should be adequate enough to fill up the thing. So anyway, I'm going to cut this in half with a knife, and I'll set up the what's the name in a minute. Back again. I've cut it in half, and what we'll do is we'll put that half into about 500 ml of water, and it'll grow. Just before I do that, the 9 litre blocks, I normally cut them off at about where the 9 is, and I'll save that little bit into here. So every 9 litre block you end up with 3 3 of those things and you've got another one. So it's pretty economical stuff to use. It's just that, as I say before, I've got the 15 litre block, so I'm going to use 1/2 of a 15 litre block. We'll just get some water and that's 250. $500. Now what happens next is all that water then will soak up through here and break up that block, and we'll end up with some really nice compost to use. Into the thing. Right, this is the OGO toilet. First thing you got to do is to remove the urine capsule which is in the front here, and that just basically undo the clips and should just pull out just to usually you've got to lift that a touch. We remove the capsule and we should have it. And then inside there, the drum. I'll remove the drum and then put that into a black plastic bag. Now that's coming along pretty good. It was just sort of just that stuff, and there was nothing obnoxious about it at all. No smell, no nothing. Onto there. Make sure it's locked in. And then this thing goes back in. I think it goes the other way. Suey. Don't forget to put the handle back there. Then we shut this down. And it's all ready to go. Remember, that's the slide. Now I'll just try the that's it, churning around. Just another tip too that I've just rediscovered: make sure that these 2 little bolt things to the front of the toilet, it helps a little bit. And if you want to know what this piece of board's for, it's because our diesel head has got an outlet into the bathroom here, just here, and it was blowing on the side of the toilet. So I put this piece of board here to deflect it off the toilet and stop it getting too hot. That's in a Bushtracker anyway. So now that concludes this series on the OGO toilet. I'll put a link up for the OGO toilets. I highly recommend them. Now we'll just put that back into that plastic bag and we can save that for the next one. Very clean operation, very clean. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you very much everyone. Bye.